It's so wonderful because, I was going to go, like I said before we started, with all of these hard hitting, these questions, just go straight into it. But I want to get to know you as a person. Also, what inspired you to launch this program, this startup, so that, regarding generational wealth, because a couple of years ago, everything was I'm breaking generational wealth. We've had people who have really taken our community for a fool and done some crazy things. So I'm happy to see something legitimate and real come out of building generational wealth and education. So I really do love that. So let's get started. What was the inspiration? Like, what was the spark that led you to launch your startup?
So I am from Philadelphia, went to Howard University, and I always wanted to be on Wall Street. So I actually never wanted to run a business. And I worked on Wall Street. I had 4 internships on Wall Street, landed my dream career working in asset management. So I worked with individuals that had at least $25 million or more. So every day I was in the bank accounts of millionaires and billionaires, and it was our job to manage their wealth. And after a while, I felt like I deserved to be the client. But I also felt like that for something we are using every day in our life, why isn't it taught in our school system? Why did I have to
Yeah.
major in finance, work on Wall Street to get exposed to the tools and resources that help us grow our wealth? But when I would go back home to Philly, where I'm from, people thought I was rich. And so I'm making 6 figures. I'm in my 20s. I live a really great life. But that wasn't what true wealth was compared to what I
Right.
saw millionaires and billionaires doing. And so I decided to leave my Wall Street job to financially educate the 99% of the world that Wall Street often overlooks. And so my desire to create Empify, which is a fintech startup that revolutionizes how adults and children learn how to build wealth, it came from what I saw rich people do every day with their money. And so now I'm creating a universal language that translates Wall Street knowledge and brings it to the everyday person. So we've had programs in school systems and prison systems. We have our Wealth Builders Community app, which is like a membership-based app, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
Netflix of finance. So now you don't have to go to school for finance. You don't have to major in finance, but you're given the basic tools and resources on how to invest, how to grow your wealth, how to preserve your wealth, and how to properly pass it down to your family.
And see, I love that because if it's at our fingertips and it's palatable, that we can actually receive it and not be inundated, like feel like we are not going to master it. I think that's where the change is going to come. And I love the fact that you have that. And if people are paying something, they're going to use it. And I really do
Yeah.
wish people would understand, if you have a membership, you're gonna log into Netflix and watch as much as you get your money's worth. But this is a great way because a lot of us as a community, we do shy away from investing stocks, bonds, things like that, because there was no real education behind it. And if you look at how we're taught in school, we're taught the basics. We're taught what a stock is, what a bond is, but we're not taught in our household what they can do for us. So, and I heard your Philly accent. I love that. my good girlfriend is from Philly.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, I love the fact that this is the part that got me is when you were growing up. Did you have those discussions in your household?
No. So my parents, I was raised by both my mother and my father, and they did a phenomenal job. But they didn't grow up with a lot of money. They weren't investing. Also, investing wasn't like the cool thing to do. It was
Mm-hmm.
something that, wealthy people did. You needed, it was a bunch of big words and big numbers. So my parents were good with managing money, especially my father, but they weren't encouraging me. Like both of them, I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. So Wall Street wasn't even a thing. Investing wasn't a thing. I really got exposed to it going to Howard University and really being with millionaires and billionaires all day, every day in my career. But growing up, I think my parents saved, but I didn't know what my first bill was until I had to pay a bill. I got credit cards. I took out student loans to go to college. Like I
Ooh.
learned about money after I made the mistakes. And I think now with Empify, creating programs for children, creating programs for the adults of the children that we serve, it's being able to get you financially educated and empowered before you make the mistakes. And so really getting people into a space, but even if you did make mistakes, showing you that no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you're from, we all deserve to build wealth. But we got to shift our mindset and get the education we need to know that we deserve to have wealth and we all can do it.
And I love that you said that we deserve to have wealth because back home, when I was younger, people would say, well, they not going to let us have that much money in the bank. And it always played back in my mind, like, why can't we have that kind of, and my dad was like, don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't do, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to your lifestyle, especially, so don't have that mindset. And it's like, I didn't realize a lot of people were told that. Like, a lot of people had that, as long as they have a checking and a savings, or just a checking account, or just a money transaction account. Like, I didn't like thinking that Cash App and PayPal is a real bank.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's like, that kind of, and I love that. Like, I think with education is key. And I know that's so cliche, that education is power to say that, but it's very true, especially in our community. So what was one of the things that stood out with you? Like, what was something that happened that made you smile? It's like, okay, yes, I'm doing what I was called to do.
So I would say since the day I left my Wall Street job, I only operate off of what feels right. Something outside of me, my energy, like I don't operate off of logic. I don't operate off of fear. And I knew for some reason that I was going to be the woman, because I feel like you will not find another Black, beautiful woman that is educated, that has my experience, but also the desire to financially empower the world. And so I would say, from teaching in the prison system to seeing the lives that we impacted, those who have been incarcerated, those who are incarcerated, teaching children. I remember I went on TV teaching 10-year-olds how to buy stock. And so I think when people get to that space, when they're opening their accounts, they realize it's not something that's hard. When they're investing in these billion-dollar businesses and they're realizing you don't need a lot of money to start with. So I think the lives that we've impacted, like we've served millions of people all over the world, and seeing them open accounts, seeing them make their first transaction, seeing them get their first dividend, and collecting that passive income as an investor. I really believe that it's just the people that we serve. And I think from day one, from the moment I quit my job to financially educating people, I remember I had my first event in Philly right after I quit my job, and over 100 people came. And it was just really cool to see that there is a need for people who want to be there. People want to be financially educated. And I feel like it's a topic that we don't talk about, but we yearn for deep down inside. I mean, we all want to live a different life. We all want to be financially empowered and have the money and tools and resources, but you can't just walk into a bank and say, hey, I want to learn how to invest. Ideally, a bank sells you products and services. They are not an education institution. Their
At
job is
all.
and so with Empify, the more we educate, the bigger we get. And so we spend more time understanding our customer, what you yearn for, what you fear, where you're struggling, to know who you are, to meet you on the inside so that we can financially empower you and change your life on the outside. So I would say every person, every child we have taught, every brokerage account, literally over the past couple of years, our members have opened over 2,500 brokerage accounts. These are people who have never invested before, who thought they couldn't do it. But now we're seeing our members open brokerage accounts. Literally just last month, our members invested $268,000 like in 30 days. Like, and this is people from all over the world, starting with what they have, getting the education and saying that I can do this. And I'm going to be here by your side every step of the way to give you the resources you need, but also the empowerment you need to let you know every day, every share, brick by brick, you're getting closer and closer to becoming who you want to become and obtaining the things that you want to obtain.
I love that. Like, to me, like, because everybody's like, oh, we're in a money shortage. People don't have money right now to
No,
play around with. And I'm like,
no. People, we feel like we live check to check. Most people spend check to check. And if you
yep.
are African American, we have a $1.3 trillion buying power. That's money after we pay our bills to go shopping. It's just that we have mastered the art of consuming. We haven't talked
Mm-hmm.
about ownership. What does it look like to build businesses? What does it look like to invest in other people's businesses? And one simple way to do that is by opening a brokerage account and investing in the stock market. So no, there is no shortage of money when you live in a country that can print money and give out trillions of dollars in stimulus checks. No, there is no shortage of money. There is a lack of education, lack of empowerment, lack of exposure. And that is why Empify was created, to be able to bridge that gap.
See, she said it because I was gonna tell y'all, but she said it. I didn't have to say it because I was like, y'all know they be printing money, right? But
Yeah.
I love that. And when everybody's like, we have a shortage, I was like, I really want to say, I drive through DC all the time. And there's a building that prints money. I don't know if y'all know that. There's a big old building over there. I mean, it's next to the IRS, so that just tells you it goes out of one building and goes back into the other one. So this is the thing that makes me smile the most is your enthusiasm. And you're passionate about this. And I love that because it's not just, it's, that feeling I love that, of empowering our people, empowering people in general, which makes it so much sweeter. So you have the partnership with the Community College of Philadelphia. How was that? Like, because I mean, you're from Philly, so securing that partnership, I think that is so major to go back to where you're from and to make sure you're touching those lives. So how do you I'm sorry, I'm smiling like it's mine, like it was, but is that going back and being a hometown, I would, oh man, how does that feel like for you to have that, secure that?
So what makes it even sweeter and even more fulfilling is that the reason we were able to partner with community college is because the woman who was the CFO of the first school we ever taught at, the first school, this is back in 2016, she recommended us to community college. So I think it mattered that much more because that first school we taught at, we taught that school for free. That was when I'm like, how can I create financial education? How do I teach children in middle schools? Can we try this out on your children and let me see if this is something that actually works? But being back in Philadelphia, again, where I'm from, it's a phenomenal experience. The students are amazing. And it's actually our largest community college university partnership. We've done tons of programs with a lot of schools from UPenn to Cheney, all over, right? Especially in the Philadelphia area. But we now are working with students who opted in to be in this program to give them the basics to investing in the stock market for the entire semester. And so it's really phenomenal to see students want to learn, to show up to all the classes, and by the end of the program, they become investors. And so we're having an amazing celebration for them, because I feel like when you're doing something to break generational curses, doing something that it is not a norm in your family, that deserves to be celebrated. So we have a phenomenal experience for them. We are giving them more money to invest, but it was after they made the decision to show up to class, finish the program, and to become their own investor. So every student that completes this program opens their own investment account, makes their own investment. They do their research. They put together their research around what they're going to buy and why they're going to buy it. So it's really cool to see this idea that I had leaving Wall Street in 2013 to now see there is a need and there is a desire and there is a want, and there are people who want to put in the work to learn and grow. And it is phenomenal partnering with the Community College of Philadelphia because they too see the need and they want to support the students that they have to financially grow them, to personally develop them. And that is everything that we are giving those students. So it is a phenomenal experience, especially going home and really seeing that there is no age, no gender, no race that we cannot teach and effectively show them how to get started as a beginner investor in the stock market.
I am because I mean, I don't know, I try, it's just the smile that you have on your face that makes me smile, because it's this is, you are doing the work, you're empowering so many people. It's making me smile because you can tell you genuinely love what you do. Can you give me just tell me about Wealth Builders Community?
Okay.
And what that means, to your network.
The easiest way to describe it is the Wealth Builders Community is like the Netflix of finance, right? So It's a membership-based platform where we're now in over 23 different countries. We have thousands of members inside of our platform with over 250 hours of classes, tools, resources. We have an annual conference. We do in-person events. But what's most important is that adults come into a safe space in a community-like environment amongst people who are just like them, have the same desire to build wealth. We have our youngest member, I believe, is 17. Our oldest member is 85 years old. So we have classes around beginner investing. So Stocks 101, Stocks 102. We have our passive income school showing individuals how to buy dividend stocks, how to invest in REITs, real estate investment trusts. We just launched our legacy planning bootcamp. So as our members are coming in, learning how to invest, learning how to create their wealth, pass it down, protect it. We talk about taxes. We talk about debt. We talk about planning and investing for your children. Everything you can possibly think of from a holistic standpoint of what it means to effectively build wealth. we offer it inside of our app. So when members come in, they can matriculate through education as if they're like a part of a university, right? Building out a pathway. When you come in, what do you want to learn? How old are you? Are you a parent? Are you looking to retire? And then them having access to different financial education classes and resources, but also opportunities to build with like-minded people. So just recently, we launched our Golden Society Room, which is where members who are over the age of 50, they can come together and connect. Let's talk about retirement. How are you planning for retirement? And I think one of the things is, yes, you can give the world financial education, because to be honest, all the things that I know, I've learned through my career. You can Google a lot of this information, but how it connects with the people, the safety that they feel, how we break it down, how we translate it, how we make it culturally relevant is what allows members to grow, to feel safe. And literally over the past 2 years, our members have invested $4 million in total. So every month they're investing, every month they're building wealth for their children. And so it's really about just giving people access readily in the palm of their hand to know, hey, you don't have to go to the financial institution. We know the language of financial institutions. We can bring them to you, but before they come, let's get financially educated. And so it's literally like what Empify is going to become, what Kleenex is the tissues, finances, that's Empify. Like when you think about, I have a child getting their first job, send them to the Empify school. I'm an adult wanting to build wealth. I want to understand my retirement plan and my job. I want to make extra income. I want to retire soon. Go inside the Wealth Builders Community app. So the Wealth Builders Community app is the tech arm that allows us to massively scale and reach adults from all over the world so that they can take classes 24/7 whenever they want to, but also be amongst like-minded people and build connections and relationships while they're building wealth.
And see, and that within those connections, you get the support. You know, and that is always key. Yeah, because a lot of us are going at it alone, but to have that community, like you found that sweet spot that people do need to be more comfortable with their finances. And I want to I have to thank you for having this thought, this amazing idea to serve the community. Like this is service. Like this is you serving the community, which is so needed. So I really want to thank you for that. So this is what I really like, you know, because we're gonna close out. I didn't want to keep you long because I have a lot of questions about that, but y'all have to go on. I'll put the links to the app and everything so that you know, anyone who's watching or listening, you all can have that. But what are one of the things that you do for self-care?
Oh, girl, everything. I spend thousands, six figures on my mental health. I have 2 executive coaches. I have a therapist. I have a spiritual advisor. I work out. I have a personal trainer. I have a chef. There is no Empify without a healed Ashley. So I go to therapy. I have sessions every single week. Every doubt, every fear that I have, I'm paying attention to what's going on. And I listen to my body. And so sometimes it's just me playing tennis. I love playing tennis. Sometimes it's me calling my spiritual advisor. Hey, I'm recognizing fear. I'm feeling a little doubt. I'm feeling a little sad. Can we have a session and talk through it? I read a lot. I journal a lot. I write in my gratitude journal. There is every day since 2017, which was the first year Empify generated any revenue. I learned that I have to be my best self, to be the best version of me to serve this world. And that is my God-given purpose. So every day, there is no investment that Ashley, I am worth all the cost. Like, so again, and as I evolve, the more support I need. So I have coaches all around me, mentors all around me, tennis, working out, eating the right foods, even if I don't want to. But yeah, it was loving on Ashley is a non-negotiable, because when I didn't love on Ashley, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do. So because I give so much energy, I got to make sure my cup is always full. And so every single day on a daily basis, I pay attention to where my cup is and ensure that everything around me fills my cup, and then I continuously pour it out to the world.
I love, you know, in the midst of all of that, you made me correct something within myself. And I thank you for that, because, you know, I'm in the midst of doing things and it's like, I'm not giving my 100%, and it's because of that. So I thank you for me. It actually made me check myself. Like literally, I checked myself. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. I am not doing this." Wait. So yeah, so if you all understand, like self-care is very important, and loving
Yes.
oneself will help you to succeed. So I really want to thank you so much for chatting with me today. I mean, my face hurts because it's like I'm smiling because I'm
I
literally
loved
in
it.
awe that you've done the work and you're doing, you're walking truly in your purpose. And there's no way around that. So I want to thank you so much for talking to me, and I will hope to catch up with you later, as the years to come, because this is going to continue to grow and get bigger and
Yes.
bigger and bigger. And it's one of those things like you have to come back and talk, and to catch up and let me know the more milestones you've achieved. So I thank you so very much for talking to me today.